Breaking news, the first Republican is now calling for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to stand down. Congressman Don Bacon telling Politico today, "I find it unacceptable and I wouldn't tolerate it if I were in charge." He's acting like he's above the law, and that shows an amateur person. This comes as CNN has learned Hegseth shared detailed war plans about a military operation against the Houthis in Yemen, not just on a group that included the Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg, but on a totally different second signal group, which appears to be personal. It was on his personal phone. His wife was on it, former Fox News producer. His brother was on it, and his lawyer was on it, along with what sources tell us were, okay, you ready for that? As if those three individuals weren't bothersome, more than a dozen other people. Out front now, Ryan Goodman, legal analyst and former special counsel at the Department of Defense. This is pretty shocking. I mean, the other one was obviously bad. I guess everything, though, becomes relative.
I think that's right. And I think that for many people absorbing this news, they might, I think, be clouded in thinking about it as though this is about Signal. And it was bad before because all the cabinet members were on Signal, which is an unsecured system to talk about battle plans. Here, it's not necessarily even being on Signal. It's that he's communicating the battle plans to people who should never receive it.
Right. His wife, his brother, more than a dozen other people?
Yeah.
His personal lawyer?
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Yeah. So the first one was about, like, was this gross negligence in the way in which they were doing it? This isn't about gross negligence. It's purposeful dissemination of national defense information to people who have no basis for receiving it. That's what the law is actually aimed at.
And you're seeing signs of a cover-up here? In what way?
Well, after the first scandal, there's an oversight group called American Oversight that they litigated this before Judge Boasberg, again, happens to be in the D.C. Circuit, saying they're supposed to preserve all federal records. And when I look back at what the DOD and the DOJ said in response to that, for all federal records in the first Signal chat, they had a very narrow reading of the judge's order to preserve those records. Mm-hmm. They said, okay, we'll preserve the records of that Signal chat on that Houthi incident with those individuals. And then when they wrote in again, they said, we have searched Secretary Hegseth's device. We now know there's another device. So that's the issue for me, is like, were they really being that clever because they actually knew that there was something much more incriminating on his second device? And
then a personal phone, too, not secure. And it's unbelievable. All right, Ryan Goodman, thank you.